Hey guys, welcome back to another day and more action figures. Continuing down my path here of Dragon Ball Z figures from S.H.Figuarts. Of course, I had to get a Trunks figure, and while doing my research, this is the one that kind of came up across my my way. This is the boy from the future. Now I do know Trunks again from the Dragon Ball Z saga. I think there's been other iterations, from the manga and whatever have you, other movies. So definitely want to get this one. Again, looks really cool. From what I read, there may be some issues. I'm hoping I got the second version, but we'll see here. But yeah, definitely looking forward to getting Trunks here opened up and added to the collection. There he is in his action pose. More of the packaging here in the back. We've of course got Trunks with his sword. The different poses, the different facial expressions. I did pay, I think, $66 US, maybe actually 68 from Big Bad Toy Store. This was one of the more expensive ones because I think so far everything that I've gotten has been around $35 or $36. So I'm hoping this one will be worth it, and I'll show you guys in a bit. So moving on here with Trunks, a boy from the future. A bunch of accessories you get with this guy. You do get all your 5 different pairs of hands. You get a couple of just reaching out hands, some palms, some grasping sort of hands here. You guys can see that a little better. Again, this is a deal where you kind of just pull the hands out, push them back in. You get 2 different sets of hands here that are meant to hold a sword. Initially, I was trying to figure out what the differences were between sort of like these 2 sets of hands. I don't know if you could see that, but I'm assuming one is probably to hold the sword more in an action pose. The other one may be more if he's trying to pull it out of the sheath. But you do get 2 sets of different hands that can hold the sword that he comes with. So 5 in total, and then of course the ones that come on the figure. As far as heads and faces, you guys could see it there. The more interesting accessory for me was his, I guess this is Trunks when he is not Super Saiyan. So he's got that nice purple hair going on there. You see a little bit of the separation there because you can take this front hair apart. I'll show that off in a second. But as far as the hair itself, really no issues. Again, it's sculpted, is not painted just like it was, I guess, in the cartoon or similar to that color, or the anime rather. The face itself done pretty well. Again, very neutral, a bit of a kind of angry, stern look here for this Trunks. You got the purple or lilac, whatever you want to call it, eyebrows that kind of match his hair. And the eyes and the nose and the expression on his face are done really well. As I said, you can pull these out. So if you wanted to, you can pull the hair off and it comes off as attached, just like the other S.H.Figuarts figures that I have here. And then you can pull out the face as well. If you wanted to, you can take one of the other faces that he comes with that are with the blonde Super Saiyan hair, and they fit in normally, and you could put in the purple hair without any issue. But then you're kind of left with this, blonde looking eyebrows, so again doesn't look too well put together, but you can do that. That's kind of interesting they included that, but technically you only really get this one face and this one set of hair that goes along with it, and is done, again, as I said, pretty well. Just showed you the 3 additional sets of faces that you get for the Super Saiyan look. We'll bring you in a little closer here so you guys could see it. But again, overall, pretty similar. It reminds me again of the Super Saiyan faces that we get with Goku there. And again, you got the more screaming look. You've got the more neutral kind of looking off to the side, and a more of like an angry look there in the faces. And these, again, you pull them off, put them back on. Again, looking really cool. You got the blonde eyebrows there. The other accessory that you do get here is this additional piece of blonde hair. You can see there's a little tap here on the back to tap that into the head. I'll show you that in a bit when we look over the figure. But again, this is done really well. It's hard plastic here at the top, and these 2 ends are soft. So again, just be pretty careful. Don't want to bump this into something and perhaps end up breaking it. But again, it's done in this hard plastic with the yellow or blonde, and then it's got some darker highlights here And, you know, again, you could replace this, as I said. So again, that's really cool. The other accessories here, moving on, would be the sword and the sword, what do you call it? A sheath, a hilt. I think it's called a sheath, but what have you, the storage for the sword. So part of this is this nice brown color here with the blue and these little accents here. I think are done really well. You know, it's again pretty plain looking, but it looks, you know, again, they're going for that, I think, anime kind of look, and I think it serves its purpose. Back here, you'll see that it's got two little holes, and that's because this goes along with this little soft rubber strap. Painted very similar in color to the straps you see here on the sword storage part. So again, they do match up pretty well, I want to say. And these ends are, of course, you see the little nubs here are supposed to go attached to this section. And as far as I understand it per the instructions, is this part goes on the top part here. So you kind of just push that in, and then this other part goes down on the bottom like so. And then obviously you would do this while you're wrapping the strap around you know, the figure itself, but that's sort of how you would end up looking once you put it on. And of course, because this is storage for the sword, there is a section there where this awesome sword can fit in. So you guys can see, fits in no problem, and he can carry that on his back. Almost reminds me of like something from The Legend of Zelda, right? Link always carries a sword, so that's what this reminds me of. And then lastly, as I just showed you guys, he gets a cool sword here. Nice, I guess, silver with some flakes on the edge. You've got the sword hilt, the handle, and a pommel, I believe it's called. And you've got this on the handle here, looks like some pattern done in like this really dark brown. So pretty well done for the most part. There is this bottom section here that comes off, because the one way to get these on the hands is for you to remove the bottom here. So this little tip or pommel, as I believe it's called, can slide on and off. And then what then allows you to do is you can take either hands, right? You have two sets of hands that you can use to hold this sword. So you would put that in here. It looks like this set of hands, you can get the hands in there and just kind of do. So now that we're all done with the accessories, time to look at the main event, which is Trunks here. And right off the bat, figure looks awesome in my book here. He comes with this face where it is a more, I guess, serious look to him. He's kind of angry, but, you know, again, you can see the eyes there, kind of well done. The hair here does obstruct, you know, some of the views of the eye, but you guys could see it there. I think this definitely looks like Trunks, and the paint around the face, at least to my eyes, is done pretty well. The hair here up top is all like hard plastic, and then as you get here, this front section can be removed, and you can change this up. And I'll show you actually right now. You could pull this out, and you can change up, right? So you can use this hairstyle, which I assume goes for when he is going Super Saiyan. I mean, you can use it with any of these other face, right? But you could do that there. You get something like that. His whole hair is kind of going up as he's powering up. You can also here get a better look at the head, or face rather. Again, no issues from my end. You can see the back of the head too. Nice pointy solid hair. You can pull this out like all your other S.H.Figuarts figures, and you can replace the face for a more appropriate sort of screaming face there, and then replace it with this hair piece here, which I almost put in upside down, but yep. And you're left with something like that. And again, that looks pretty awesome. Love the jacket with the popped collar. Again, really cool. This is like soft rubber, soft plastic, but the color's well done. You got the pockets over here on both sides. You've got your Capsule Company logo here on the shoulder on the left Right has nothing, but again, they've got some folds and some line work and sculpting to give it that additional detail. You got some little buttons here by the cuffs. So again, really cool. And all of this matches up, even though it's kind of slightly different material. It's not like you're getting a different purple here from the arms. At least to my eye, it matches up pretty well. It's not one-to-one, but it's not anything that would cause me to complain. On the jacket, on the back here, this is segmented. So the left and right sides are attached to the neck, to the collar here, but they're not attached fully to the back, right? They're separate pieces. And again, this is done because when you move the arms from an articulation standpoint, this will give you more flexibility, to put him in a variety of poses. I guess the only thing to keep in mind is obviously, as this are all separate pieces, the neck, the collar part is attached to these arms here. So I'm sure you don't want to go around pulling, potentially cause some tear in that joint. So just be really careful with your figure. This back piece here looks like it's glued on to the back torso. So again, it's flexible, but I'm going to assume this is glued on to the back. But again, the jacket, I think in my book, is done really well. Of course, you got his black tank top here, and you can move the jacket out. You could see, some of the sculpt and line work there, at least on the lower section and the stomach. The muscles there, the upper section of the chest. So again, no issues there. I guess the only thing to note is if you start moving the arms out, you are going to get some gaps here that kind of show. But I think, when you post this guy, you'll be able to sort of cover those gaps, because other than the shirt, you kind of just, you're staring at the joints at that point, right? So just something to keep in mind. Belt, you got this nice sculpted belt here. It is separate from the rest of the waist or the body, so you can turn it independently on its own. And you got the little red buckle there with some blue accents on the sides, and that this whole brown accent kind of continues on around. Nice, great pants. They're kind of plain and gray, but they've added the additional wrinkles and some highlights to give it that bit more of a definition. So again, no issues on my part. I think the pants are really well done. Boots, again, can't complain about them. Love the little straps here on the front, on the bottom here by the foot. And they give sort of a really good contrast to the rest of the outfit and match really well with his belt here. So he's got matching accessories. The bottom of the shoes, you got same color as the upper section of the boot, but you've got these darker brown accents with these light, I guess, khaki-like accents. So gives the boot a really good look. And I gotta say, Trunks is very stylish, at least with this outfit. I think everything coordinates really well. So again, no issues on my end. Again, you can see the back here continuing on the pants with the accents, the belt, etc. too. So again, pretty cool looking figure. No complaints, at least so far from the look part. Obviously you guys saw me switch out the face. I can actually maybe show you how to switch out the head. So you could take the front hair part, take out the face here, and then at that point you could pop the head out. So if you just be very careful, grab here and pull the head out, you'll see the pin there for the neck. And then at that point you can replace it with this other I guess your standard non-powered up Trunks head. So, and that fits in really with no problem. So if you're going for this look in your shelf, again, no issues. You just saw me switch out the head without any issue, and I think that looks really cool in my book. Next we'll do the articulation, which again, you just saw me pop the head out, but again, both heads kind of give you the freedom of moving this all the way around if you wanted to, right? You can look down pretty much all the way down, just about. You see his, and he can look up, not too much, actually not much of anything at this point. It's like probably about that much. I don't want to force it, so it's not really much that he can look up. And you've got the additional joint on the neck, like the other Dragon Ball figures from S.H.Figuarts. It can help you, give you some additional articulation there. The arms, as I said, the jacket are separate from the arms and from the torso. So then what that allows you to do is if you wanted to move the arms all the way up. You don't have the jacket kind of tugging or pulling on things. So again, that's really cool. And you've got your bicep articulation there. You can bring this all the way up, so on the shoulder rather, probably forward about that much, move it back. You can turn this all the way around. You've got the bicep articulation here separately from the shoulder, so you can turn this independently. You've got your awesome double jointed elbows, so again, no issues there. And of course, you got your arms here. You can move this up and down and rotate the hand fully. You can pull these out and replace them, you know, with the other hands that came in here. Similarly to the other Dragon Ball figures, the upper chest here is separate from the lower section, so you've got that additional joint to help you with the articulation there. And then you've got the waist piece, which, as I said, is separate from the belt, so you can spin the full torso around without any issue. You see the belt kind of moves independently, but you can move it back in place. So again, no issues. And then this gives you additional ways to look down, and it could also help with looking up because his head doesn't really move that much, you know, at least for looking up. The legs here, pretty similar again to the other figures. He can kick forward about that much. Can't really go back too much because of the way the back section here is done. When you move this back, this thing kind of gets in the way, so just something to keep in mind. I mean, you could try and move it back this way, just move it out of the way when you do that to avoid any damage. And then the knees, awesome knees again, can't complain. Double jointed knees, kind of, you can pull them probably about this much and he can kick his back at that point. So again, really cool. And then these legs you can turn them around in place, no issues there, like that. At the leg here, you've got articulation on the ankle joint, so you can move this back and forth, up and down, and you can spin this around just really carefully. You've got your ankle articulation. So again, this guy I think will be able to pull some really cool poses between the sword and the different head accessories and the head accessory and the different hair pieces. You know, I think he'll look really cool. So again, overall, no complaints from my end. All right, so here to show off the posability, I tried my best to put Trunks here on that very famous pose from Dragon Ball Z when he comes down. I think after shooting a couple of ki blasts at Frieza, and then he comes down from the top and slices Frieza in half. Again, not much of an issue with getting this guy into that particular pose. The jacket kind of didn't get in the way. I thought I was going to have an issue with the strap there on the sword, but thankfully I did not. So I was actually quite surprised. It held on, just kind of clipped it in place, and that was that. You guys could see there I'm using my trusty old flight stand, which again I wish you know, it would be included with these figures, because again, you can get these guys in some pretty cool poses. But this was the closest I could get. I'm sure someone out there with more talent in posing figures could probably do a way better job, but for me this kind of works, and again shows off the versatility in posing with Trunks here. So another pose here, and again another angle or take on that famous pose where he's coming down to cut Frieza in half. Again, not really much of an issue, other than again I did have to play around with the strap quite a bit to get things to sit in place, but other than that, really not much issue. Again, it's not one-to-one to that pose from the show. Again, I'm pretty sure more talented folks could do a way better job, but again, you know, I love the fact of how poseable all these Dragon Ball figures are, and then specifically this one. I mean, he looks pretty badass right there, I think, in that angle. So again, awesome pose for this guy here. And moving along, showing you guys the posability on this guy. Again, no issues. He looks pretty cool there, holding his sword on the right hand. I managed to get the sword storage or sheath or whatever you want to call it on the back. Did have to play around a bit with the strap to get it to actually, it kept coming undone, at least on this end. So that did take a bit of work, but everything else, I mean, switching out the hands, getting this guy in that pose, and as you guys can see, he's standing there without the aid of a stand or anything. So it looks pretty awesome. So again, I may end up displaying this guy in this pose, at least for now. But you guys could see, I mean, this is, I think in my book, probably one of my more favorite Dragon Ball and actually overall action figures that I've gotten this year in 2024. And one more pose here. Again, pretty much going from my memory, this was also from that same scene or prior to that scene where he cuts on Frieza, right? He's gathering all his energy and doing all these different hand movements to then fire off his ki blast. It's a very basic pose. But again, not really much of an issue getting him, at least getting the hands in place, removing the phase. Did have to play a bit again with the strap there on the sword to get it into place. But man, you know, once you do get him in there into that pose, he does look really freaking epic. And again, this is another pose so you could probably use to display this guy in your shelf. So again, top-notch work here. I think this is probably now quickly becoming one of my more, as I said, favorite figures, I think, of this year. So there you go. There is Trunks. So let's go ahead and get going here with the size comparisons, starting us off with my good old Massinger C here from Tamashii Nations, my metal build guy. Just gonna move this back slightly, give you guys a bit of a better look. But there you go, that's what these two look like there together. We'll move Massinger out. Why not bring in good old reliable Optimus Prime from the Studio Series 86. And these two look pretty good together there. We'll move Optimus out. Moving on to some Ninja Turtles. Here is the Casey Jones from Super 7 Ultimates. Again, here we go. That's Casey and Trunks. Moving on to some Storm collectibles. Here is Trunks next to Wolf Hawkfield from Virtua Fighters from Storm Collectibles. And that's that one. We'll move Wolf out, bring in another Storm Collectibles. This is Balrog or M. Bison, depending on your region, from Ultra Street Fighter. Again, same Storm Collectibles. You guys can see the difference there. Move him out. Bring in my good old reliable Mega Man from Tamashii Nations. And I do think these two do look pretty cool together there, standing next to each other. So we'll move Mega Man out. Bring in my S.H.Figuarts Raphael from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. There you go. I think that sizing kind of works for me. And why not? We're showing up some Ninja Turtles, so why not bring in Donatello from the NECA movie line there. Looking all awesome. So we'll move Donnie out. And then some Figma Samus. This is from Other M. So you guys can see there the size comparison. And then I guess to wrap it up, we'll move on to the Dragon Ball comparisons, my other S.H.Figuarts that I have here. Starting off with my first one, which is Goku. There's the Saiyan race on Earth, Goku from Dragon Ball Z. We'll move Goku out. Bring in the legendary Super Saiyan Goku. There you go. We'll move him out. Bring in, why not, Vegeta, which, if I remember correctly, Vegeta is his dad. So there you go. There's Vegeta and Trunks. Move Vegeta out. bring in Gohan with future Trunks there. You guys can see them. They're standing, looking pretty awesome. And lastly, one of my favorite ones is his Piccolo from Superhero. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I think overall future Trunks here looks pretty cool with all these other figures. Alright guys, so that's gonna do it for me. Overall pretty happy with Trunks here. The accessories are all pretty good. Love the color, the posability on this guy, the extra faces and everything that we do get with it. The sword accessory is great. As I mentioned, I did have a bit of an issue with the strap, you know, just having to play around with it just to get it to sit just right. But once you do, really not much of an issue. But overall, as I said, really happy to get this guy in the collection. You guys could see him there standing next to Ultimate Gohan from a Superhero, as well as Piccolo. But anyway, if I missed anything, if you have any questions, of course, feel free to leave a comment. Always happy to help folks. But if you made it to the end, again, thank you so much for your very valuable time. And I will catch you in the next video. Take care.